how I made a fun card with the Friendly Fins stamp set bundle from Stampin' Up's annual catalog. So this is just kind of a fun little summer card. Since we're kind of in the middle of summer here in New Jersey, it's like hot and sticky and icky outside. And so I thought this was kind of a perfect beach themed or summer themed birthday card to share with you today. So hopefully I'm actually going to show up live out here soon on YouTube. It seems to be taking a little bit of time for the live to show up on my side. So looks like it's finally going. All right, so I think we are good to go. So thanks everybody for hopping in today. I appreciate anybody joining today and hanging out with me for a couple minutes early. Again, I know I apologize for having to go live early again, but yeah, summer schedule is just a little crazy around our house. So anyway, all right, so this is the card we're going to be making today. Just kind of a fun little one with an inked background and some fun die cuts on it. And yeah, just a cute little birthday card. So that is all. So, hey, Susan, thanks for hopping in from Wisconsin. You're here early. So, all right, got the Friendly Fins stamp set, bundle, I should say. So this is the stamp set. It's got some cute little images from under the sea, some fun sentiments that coordinate with it. I love the little angelfish, and there's dolphin and a stingray and a shark, and like I said, just fun sentiments on it. And there's some little rock and coral images as well. And then it's got a great set of dies that coordinate with it. So the larger open dies are going to cut your stamped images, and then there are a whole bunch of accessory pieces, and I used actually most of the accessory pieces on this card, so I'll show you those as we go along. The only one I think I didn't use was the bubbles, but other than that, yeah, so we'll show you kind of as we go along how I use this, and just like I said, it's a fun little stamp set bundle. All right, set those aside. One other thing that I did use on this is the Stylish Shapes dies, and I used this little die for the sentiment. This is one of my favorite die sets. If you don't have it, you really should get it because it's kind of good for everything. Fits lots of sentiments, lots of images. It's a great little die set. All right, let me set this over here. So I see Lisa and Sherry and Jean Ann have also joined, so thanks for being here, coming in a little early today. So, all right. A couple things before we get going. Bonus days is going on from Stampin' Up! Right now. So for every $50 that you order in merchandise in an individual order during the month of July, from the 3rd to the 31st, you get a $5 off coupon that you can spend on an order on any time during the month of August. So it's a great deal. So buy now and get to save a little bit later. So definitely hop on that. Any orders that you place. You get the $5 coupons, and the other bonus is if you're a demonstrator, we actually get the $5 coupons as well. So it's a really great deal if you join and then get to do all the bonus day shopping. So, all right, let me know if you have questions about that, questions about joining, any of that good stuff. Details are on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And then I just wanted to remind you about some online exclusives that Stampin' Up! Currently has. There are some new ones that just came out that are Christmas, holiday, I don't know, fall, there's Halloween, so all sorts of good things in there. This is just a small sampling of the new online exclusives. So that is one set or one suite, and then there's another suite. Again, this is just a small sampling of the online exclusives. So anytime you're in the online store, just go over there, check out what's new in the online exclusives by going in and then clicking the menu button. And one of the items right up there at the top on the menu button is online exclusives. And if you click on that, you'll go right to all the new online exclusives and you can check them out for yourself. So, hey, Judy, thanks for joining. All right, so let's get going on our card finally after all my yakking. My original card was a 4 1/4 by 11 card base scored at 5.5 across the top, so it opens as a top fold card, which that is my preferred card base. I like the way that those work. That's, like I said, that's my favorite card base, but I know not everybody loves them. So I usually try to show you that most of my cards you can do a regular card base on. So this one is actually cut to 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4 in the middle. So if that is your favorite card base, this card will work with that. So got a little piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper to start on the background. This one should be cut to about 4 1/4 by 5.5. And all the measurements and everything will be on my blog for this tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I'll link directly to the blog post as soon as it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. There'll be a printable PDF tutorial, and I'll have all the measurements and all that good stuff posted out there tomorrow. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on the card front here. Again, just using a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue to do that, so I have a little wiggle room in there. So, hey, Julie and Mario, I have a stack of card bases that I cut ahead of time, and I always forget to cut. Oh, yeah. I try to, like I said, I try to only cut one piece at a time, which I know is not very efficient, but that allows me then to kind of switch and do whichever card base with whatever cardstock I've got. So, all right. Next up, I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and this should be cut, if I cut it correctly, to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, which thankfully I think I did. And then we're just going to ink the background with Summer Splash, and then I've got a little Coastal Cabana as well that we'll be adding to this towards the top. So Summer Splash is one of the newer ink colors. It's a new in color. So this ink pad for me is kind of really, it's got a lot of ink on it. So as I ink up my blending brush, I'm going to actually make sure that I do quite a bit of brushing on my scrap paper because as you can see, you kind of get a big glob of ink, especially when you're using the newer ink pads that are really inky. Sometimes you get a dark glob of ink, and I don't always love that look. Oh, there, I've got a glob anyway. I may flip it over and try it again here. All right, there we go. Maybe I'll do better with this time around. If not, we'll just go with it and we'll call it bubbles. So I usually try brushing off. Make sure I'm doing quite a bit of brushing off to the side before I go to my project in an effort to try to minimize the globbing of the ink on there. I'm not sure why it worked pretty well on my sample card. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm wondering if my blending brush dried too much in between times and now it's kind of got a weird little bend in it. Who knows? All good. Like I said, we'll just keep swirling the ink on it and keep blending. All right. So again, it's Summer Splash that I'm using on the bottom of it. A little bit of a darker Coastal Cabana is what I'll call it. All right. And then I think I'm going to switch over to Coastal Cabana to do the top part of it. All right. And then I'm going to go again, just taking Coastal Cabana, doing the same thing here, off to the side a little bit. I'm going to switch this around. And we'll start building the ink from the bottom up, trying to get it to be a little darker towards the bottom, a little lighter towards the top. All right. And my Coastal Cabana ink pad is a little bit, it's not as new as my Summer Splash. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to build the color on there because the blending brush is not picking up nearly as much ink as it was on the Summer Splash ink pad. And I'm going to go down here towards the middle and make sure that I'm blending it well in the center, trying to get both colors mixed a little bit in the middle of it. A couple more swirls up here towards the top, and I think we will call it good. Hopefully everybody's enjoying your day. It's been really warm here in New Jersey, definitely kind of getting the middle of summer heat here. But that's okay, because that just means we get to spend a little more time in the pool outside because it's too darn hot to do much of anything else. All right, I think we'll call that good. I'm going to quit inking with the ink pad here. And then I'm going to set this card way over aside because we're going to do something that's a little messy here on the background of this. So I've got a water painter that's just got water inside it, and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze down a little bit of the water onto a paper towel or whatever you have that's, if you have a cloth or whatever that is handy. And I'm going to put my cardstock here on top of my little paper towel. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly flick the water over the area that I've just inked. And hopefully you can see, I'm starting to be able to see it. It creates a little kind of like the effect of bubbles. So I'm trying not to have any big globs of water on it, but hopefully you can kind of see it. Let me squeeze a little bit more water down here. And again, it's just plain water that I'm using on here. And I just used plain old basic white cardstock. You can do, if you want to do a little bit more water look to it, you can definitely use watercolor paper if you want to, but I don't know, I thought it worked okay with just the plain old basic white cardstock. So that is it. That's how I created the fantastic bubbles on the background of my card. I'm going to hold it up here a little bit closer to the screen, so hopefully you can see it. I don't know how well it's coming through, but hopefully you can see the little kind of white bubble looking things that are created with just the water in the background. So hot in Las Vegas. Oh, I bet it has been. I've heard you guys have had record-breaking temperatures out there. Yuck. So good morning. Thanks for hopping in. And I see a couple other people joining from Wisconsin as well. So, all right. So we've got our background done. Then I'm going to go back to my card base again. And we're just going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to stick them on the back of my messed up cardstock panel. And these are my little half Stampin' Dimensionals. I do chop mine in half. If you like the whole ones, you can use those. If you like the minis, you can use those too. So whatever your favorite way to use dimensionals is. I just use tons of them. And the half ones, I like the size of them a little bit better than the full-size dimensionals. They're a little different shape than the minis. And then they're a little smaller, obviously, than the full-size. So I like them. All right, so there we go. Got the basic card front all done here. Got it stuck down. And again, hopefully you can see the water spots on there as it's starting to dry a little bit. Those are getting a little bit more pronounced. If you want to have more bubbles, you can certainly add more splatters of water over it. Less bubbles, less splatters. So pretty easy. I did do quite a bit of the die cutting ahead of time for the little background pieces just because I didn't figure there was any reason for me to continue to die cut in front of you and say, oh, here, die cut this, die cut that. So I'll just show you what I did instead. So this was cut from Peach Pie cardstock, and I used this large coral die to do that. The little lobster was cut from I called it Coastal Cabana, from Calypso Coral cardstock, and again with the little lobster die. Then I cut two of the rocks, or I don't know if it's rocks or coral. They look like rocks to me, so that's what I'm calling them, with this die here. So this one is cut from gray granite cardstock, and I cut two of those. And then I cut the little pieces of seaweed, so there are two of those, from Shy Shamrock cardstock. The little seashell was cut with that one. So these are the seagrass, that's the seashell. Cut that from Calypso Coral cardstock as well. And then the little fish die cuts, there are two of them here, and then the larger fish here. I cut two of these and one of these from Lemon Lolly cardstock. So pretty quick and easy. Again, just running through the die cutting machine, but it's a little boring to sit and watch nothing as I'm die cutting over and over again. So, all right, let's start building our little card front. I did use liquid glue. Just because I probably could have used the adhesive sheets on here, but I wasn't sure exactly as I was die cutting things where everything was going to be placed, and I wanted to make sure that it was sticking on the card front and not sticking to everything else. So I just used liquid glue because most of these pieces are big enough that I didn't glue myself to too many things, although I still sometimes manage to do that. So we're going to start by putting the coral piece down first. And I put it almost down to the bottom of the card front, but I knew that I was going to be covering it with the rocks next, so I didn't go all the way down to the bottom. All right, got that glued on. And then I've got the little rocks here. Again, the Peach Pie was what I used for the larger coral piece. And then we are using gray granite cardstock for the little rocks. And I'll try to put a little glue out here on the edge. That's where I always get in trouble when I try to put a little glue, then it ends up being a little big glob. And oh well. All right, whoop. Sticking that way down at the bottom here. Holding it for a second so that hopefully getting some heat and no rain for a couple days. Yeah, we've had rain off and on here, and we're supposed to, I don't know, originally we had like a high percentage chance of rain today, and then they've kind of been decreasing it, so I don't know if we're going to get rain or not here in New Jersey. All right, same thing with this one. This again is gray granite, little rock, and we're going to stick that down here, whoop, at the bottom. And we do have a little peak there, so I may have to adjust. No, actually, I think I did the same thing on my original card. And then I just stuck my little seashell down over the top of it, so you can't see the peek through of the blue on the background. So again, just this is cut from Calypso Coral cardstock. We're just going to take that, stick it down here on the corner. And I'm going to grab my little tweezers here because the pieces are starting to get smaller and smaller, and I don't want to end up gluing my fingers to anything. Hopefully I won't. This is, again, is cut from Shy Shamrock, and it is one of the little pieces of seagrass or seaweed or whatever you want to call it. Putting a little liquid glue on that, and we're just going to kind of tuck that down here underneath the rock and smooshing it down. And then we've got the other little piece of seagrass. We're going to do the same thing over on the other side. And thankfully it doesn't take very much liquid glue to hold, especially these little pieces on, so you don't have to coat the thing in liquid glue in order to get it to stick down. We'll just tuck that one right underneath the other little piece of rock over here. All right, next up we've got the little lobster. Again, that was cut from Calypso Coral cardstock. We're just going to put a little liquid glue kind of in a few strategic places on this one. Flip it over, and we'll stick him about right there. All right, then we've got our big die cut fish from Lemon Lolly cardstock. And, well, big, I guess, is a relative term. He's not really a very big fish. Big and bigger than the other ones, but pretty little. We're going to take that one and tuck it down here. The lobster is really cute. Like I said, I love all the accessory dies in this one. It's a pretty good set. So I had a lot of fun creating my little underwater scene with it. So, all right, again, a little liquid glue to the Lemon Lolly die cut fish. We're going to take one and we'll stick it up here close to the edge. And then we'll do another one right underneath it. Oop, there we go. And they're both going in the same direction over here. And then we've got two more of the little fish to stick on, and I promise I'm done gluing for a minute. We'll do a little Stampin' here shortly. So, but the little dies in this set are just too much fun. I couldn't not put them on. All right, got the other little die cut fish over here. Smoosh that one down. And then the final little die cut fish we'll do right up above that one. Oop, probably should put a little more glue on him. There we go. And if you don't have a set of reverse tweezers, they are one of the best little tools you can get. This pair in particular is from EK Success, I think, or EK Tools, whatever they call it. Just you can get them on Amazon. They're a couple dollars. So definitely a must-have when it comes to gluing on all these little pieces. So, hey, Jolene, thanks for hopping in. Oh, you're gonna make it's a really cute one, and he's gonna love it. So have fun making the birthday card with it. All right, I've got a little piece of basic white cardstock, and I've got the dolphin outline image and the dolphin fill-in image, and we got gray granite ink. I'm gonna ink the dolphin outline image. We will stamp that here on the basic white cardstock. And then I'm gonna grab the little fill-in image, ink it up well, and then I'm going to stamp it on the scrap paper, and then we're going to stamp it over the top of the lined image. There we go. And it's pretty easy to stamp with. Like I said, it looks obviously more difficult because I'm kind of trying to look through the camera and do this at the same time. If you're just stamping it without a camera between you and what you're stamping, it's actually really easy to do. And then I'm going to grab my happy birthday sentiment from, again, it's all in that Friendly Fins stamp set. And we've got Coastal Cabana ink. And we're just going to stamp that as well on the same piece of basic white cardstock. And then close that up so I don't stick my fingers in it. And then I'm going to grab a couple of the dies here. So I'm going to take this die from the Friendly Fins dies, and we're going to cut out the little dolphin. And then I've got this die from the Stylish Shapes dies that we're going to use to cut the birthday sentiment out. So hang on one second. I'll be off screen for the die cutting. All right. There we go. One on. Whoop. Maybe. All right, I think I can get them both done. All right, grab the birthday sentiment here. There we go. I'll put that back and put this back before I lose track of my dies. Get the scrap paper out of the way, all kinds of mess over here. So, all right, so there's my little dolphin, and I'm gonna put the birthday sentiment on first so that I can kind of put the dolphin around it and make sure that that ends up in the right spot. So I'm gonna grab some of the little half Stampin' dimensionals and stick those on the back of my birthday sentiment. And I'm gonna tuck that down here, kind of right above the little fish on the card front. And then I'm going to do the same thing, put some Stampin' dimensionals on the back of my little dolphin. And we'll stick that right over, kind of on top of the sentiment, well, above the sentiment, not on top of it. So to make it look like he's kind of swimming around or jumping over or whatever you want to say, the little birthday sentiment. So there you go. Last thing for the card front is I did grab some of the little, this is the Tinsel Gems 3-pack, and these technically I think are Lost Lagoon in the colors, but when I looked at it, to me they looked an awful lot like Coastal Cabana, and they had a little sparkle in them, so I went with it. So if you prefer not to use the Lost Lagoon little gems and can find something else that you like better, you certainly can use it, but I thought these matched and kind of gave it a little sparkle and kind of almost looked like little bubbles to me. So that was why I went with them. So there you go, stuck a couple of those on the card front, and if you want to put more on, you certainly can do that as well. So, all right, let me do the inside of the card here quickly, and we'll be done for today. So I've got a sentiment that I'm going to stamp in Coastal Cabana ink, and I just put the Make a Splash, again, just because it's a fun little sentiment that coordinates with the card front. Stamp that in Coastal Cabana ink, and then I'm going to stamp the dolphin image again, same way that I stamped it on the card front. So I'm going to stamp the little outline first in gray granite ink. And I'm just going to stamp it so it looks like he's kind of hopping over the top of your sentiment. And then, I've got a little glob of something icky on there. All right, ink that up with gray granite ink and then stamp it over the top of my image here. There you go. And then I did actually stamp the little angelfish because I thought they were really cute. So I stamped the outline of those in gray granite ink over here underneath the sentiment, and then added the fill-in image in lemon lolly ink right over the top. All right. And if you prefer it to be a little lighter on the lemon lolly ink, you can stamp it on scrap paper once, but I didn't find the ink to be too terribly bright on this one, so I left it at full strength. So again, if you like it a little lighter, you can definitely do it a little lighter. So whatever you like best, up to you. So, all right, then we're gonna do a little stamp and seal, and we will stick this to the inside of the card. And this piece was cut to about 4 by 5 1/4, so it should layer fairly nicely inside the card as well. There we go. That's it for the inside, so quick and easy. Just going to fold it and give it a quick crease along the edge with the bone folder so that it lays down hopefully fairly nicely. And that's it for today. So there are my 2 cards. So obviously this is the one with the top fold that I made ahead of time. This is the one we made here today with the side fold. It's a cute, cute set, quick and easy, and I really liked it. Like I said, it's fun, perfect for summer birthdays. Well, kind of perfect for birthdays any time of the year, but definitely for summer ones. It's a great little set. Let me know if you have questions about anything. I appreciate you all hopping in and joining today and leaving your comments, and I appreciate it. So I will plan to be live. I may stick with this 10 o'clock time through the rest of summer until my daughter kind of gets back into school, just because the schedule gets a little crazy in the afternoon. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you hopping in and joining early. And yeah, hopefully the 10 o'clock time will work out. And I'll kind of just keep an eye on my blog and on my Facebook page, and I'll post to let you know when it is that I'll be going live. But details for this will be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will link up to the blog post once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So you have all the measurements and everything if you want to recreate this card. So thanks again for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll plan to see you on Tuesday, I think around 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. Chat with you all soon.